before. And without further ado, welcome Diana.
Great. Thank you, Sadie. It is really exciting to be here. I do live in Oakland, so it's really fun to be with other Oaklanders. Well, I think some people are from other parts of the country too, but to be hosted by the Oakland Public Library is an honor. Thank you. I have a little presentation for you guys. What I was thinking could be fun is I'm not 100% sure, you know, how and why everyone is here, but I think most of us have an interest in backpacking. So I was going to do a little presentation, kind of broad strokes of what's in the book, How to Start Suffering Outside. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to share my screen. I need to give some things access, excuse me. One moment. Okay. Let's see if that has worked. All right. I think now everyone can see the jumbled mess of my screen. So let's make something a little more lovely for you. All right. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Or I guess tell me, Sadie, if you can. Okay, perfect. All right.
I can see it. So I'm assuming everyone else can also see it.
Great. If anyone can't see it, say something in the chat. We'll keep an eye on it. But without further ado, let's talk about how to start suffering outside. A helpful guide brought to you by the makers of How to Suffer Outside, which is myself and Latasha Dunstan, the wonderful artist who did the illustrations for this book. So first things first, I'll just be blunt. What in God's name are you doing here? I found out we had a really huge number of people RSVP for this, which is extremely exciting. But you know, what I mean to say is hello, and I'm extremely happy that you are here, but also the rest of this presentation assumes you have an interest in backpacking, which is to say you are moderately psychologically unwell, such as myself. I mean, no shade. This is just, I think if you see people hiking uphill with 30 to 40 pounds on their back and go, I want to do that too. There's, you know, at least masochism is on the table. So if you don't have an interest in backpacking, hopefully you will be motivated by the end of our time together. The poop section is especially inspiring, I have been told. I am not responsible for your death, and it's wonderful to meet you. And all of this is very true. So I'm really happy you're here. This is really exciting. And again, I'm gonna go through some stuff that I think is useful, but if you have any questions, please feel free to jot them down and we'll chat at the end. That could be about me or about backpacking, whatever comes to your mind. So I know Sadie gave me a wonderful introduction, but just real quick, who am I? I am not Cheryl Strayed. I'm really sorry if you thought I was Cheryl Strayed. I'm sorry if someone took you here because they told you that I was Cheryl Strayed. I also wish I was Cheryl Strayed, but I'm not. I did not just hike the PCT without any preamble whatsoever. I really like Cheryl Strayed. We can simp her together. I'm also not Bear Grylls. I'm not English. I'm not very ruggedly handsome, and I have never drank my own pee. I'm comfortable with all of those things. I hope you are too, but who I am is someone with 15 years of backpacking experience who can still never remember to pack a hat. I had a sunburn last week all across my forehead as a reminder of that fact. I'm also someone who spends most of their time sitting in an office chair yelling at spreadsheets and then decides to binge exercise in the mountains for 3 to 4 days on the pretext of physical and mental health. That is pretty much my relationship with backpacking. I wish I could do it most of the time, but I don't think professional backpacking exists. If it does, someone can let me know, but for the most part, I think I am a pretty average person. I have an admin job, and then occasionally I freak out and want to run outside and have the mountains absorb my suffering. And that is sort of what this book is about. How to Suffer Outside is basically an anthology of my screw-ups because I have screwed up a lot outside in learning how to backpack and in bringing the wrong gear and in getting lost and all of these little things that I felt like a lot of backpackers don't necessarily want to talk about when they write books or tell stories, but we've all experienced. And I think it's more useful to talk about your screw ups than your hero moments, because that is how we learn. And I think sharing the feeling of feeling foolish is comforting. So that's kind of how I approached writing How to Suffer Outside. I am slow and I am chubby. I am not a typical athlete. Like when someone looks at me, they don't think, whoa, man, she must work out like all the time, even though I do. But you know, I'm just not a really typically athletic person, but I still love this sport. And you know, I am also someone who believes in you, because if I can do this, I believe that you can. If you have two functional legs and a will, it can be done. And that is most importantly the approach we take in the book. What about blank? So I gave this disclaimer slightly earlier, but the book has detailed instructions on how to fit yourself for a backpacking backpack, how to pack a backpack, what to look for in specific items like tents, sleeping bags, how to package your meals, and more. I don't go into all those nitty-gritty details here because we're only going to be doing this PowerPoint section for about 30 minutes. I don't want to bore you guys. So we're doing broad strokes. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to jot them down. I would love to talk to you at the end. And also here, I'm sure some people here are also experienced hikers and backpackers. So I am curious to hear other people's takes. Above all, I think with backpacking, the tricky thing about writing a book like this is that everyone does things slightly differently. Backpackers disagree with each other all the time. So I didn't want to write a book that was a prescription so much. You must do this, you must not do this. More, I wanted to write a book that helped people think about how to do things, because I think that's more effective. And also just deal with a lot of the emotions that come with backpacking, which I think isn't as discussed as often. So that's mostly the approach we take here. And if I say something that you're like, she uses what stove? That's bananas. That's totally fine. You might be right. It's just the one that worked for me. But without further ado, let's get into some stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about most broadly is just gear and how to get it. How does one spend $2,000 in the name of minimalism? That is the beauty of this sport. I believe backpacking is actually a religion of minimalism, and the fantasy of every seasoned backpacker is to feel a breeze and realize they have floated away into the sky like a helium balloon. People are obsessed with weight. They track every single thing they put on their pack on lighterpack.com. I don't actually do that because I find weight stressful. So I don't do that. But you know, it does help to be thoughtful since you're carrying everything with you, both in and out of wherever you're going. Whatever you carry with you is something you really want to think about, right down to the size of your toothbrush, right? I had a friend who I go backpacking with, and the first time she went out, she really wanted to bring a Maglite flashlight, and I was trying not to patronize her, and I said, I really don't think you need that weight. Those things are like 5 pounds on their own. It's just not necessary. And she said, I know, but it'll make me feel safer. And I said, okay. And then, you know, 5 miles in, she's like, this is the worst idea I've ever had. My pack is too heavy, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, that's okay. You know, we are stuck with it now for the rest of the time we're out here. I have heard, I think somewhere like a pound on your back is 10 pounds on your feet. So again, this is why backpackers are obsessed with weight. With that said, my pack usually weighs over 30 pounds. Ultralighters would have a heart attack at that number. They aim for like a sub 15-pound pack weight. But to me, this is still okay because I'm not an ultralighter. And it's still okay to go backpacking even if rich people think your gear is too heavy. I think we can all, as Oaklanders, collectively just say we're okay with rich people not approving of us. So anyway, maybe that was too political. What if you're broke? Where do you get gear? Like me, for most of my life. For the record, I am not sponsored by like anybody. This is just genuinely stuff I have found over the years as really, really good places to get gear. And I'm just going to share it with you without a lot of pretext. But where I get gear is military surplus stores. The irony of a pacifist, granola crunching, liberal flower power hippie like myself prancing around in camo is not lost on anyone, but goddamn, that stuff is cheap. And if it's good enough for the military to invade the Middle East, it's probably good enough for me to backpack around the Sierras. So I use it. There's really good stuff there. It's not usually super lightweight, but it is very effective. eBay is also wonderful. You don't have to go to REI. Just punch whatever it is into eBay, and I guarantee you someone is trying to get rid of it at like half the price. It's a great resource. Sierra.com. They're basically a clearinghouse for excess gear. I mean, you can get insane stuff on there, like brand name for ridiculously cheap, just appallingly cheap gear. I think because it's all overstock. Someone told me that once. So that is where you would get new gear. I think it's better for the earth as much as possible where we can buy used, but you know, you have to buy something new. Check out Sierra.com. It's a pretty good resource. Not Amazon. Unless it's a big brand name, it'll probably fall apart. I have learned this too many times. You buy something from a brand you've never heard of, and it just falls apart within 2 uses. And I mean, when you're in the backcountry, you really want your stuff to work. So I really do not advocate a lot for Amazon. Also don't advocate for REI, don't get me wrong. They're like breaker of chains and mother of backpackers, and the return policy is amazing. Like one time I broke a pair of sunglasses in Patagonia, and I went in there with nothing but the temple, like the side of the sunglasses, and I handed it to the guy, and I was like, these broke, and I think they fell out of my pack, and all I have is this, and he just like gave me all my money back, which is totally insane. So on the one hand, REI is amazing, and that is probably why it's so expensive. So I typically don't feel like you have to go to REI for every single little thing, maybe is the takeaway. They are great, but like they're really expensive. So, and then finally, borrow it. People buy gear all the time, use it once on the trail, and then swear they will never, ever, ever do that again. This will not happen to you, I promise. And then the gear sits sad and forgotten in garages across America, and you can go save it because backpackers are a weirdly friendly, chummy bunch, and they will just loan you stuff. It's really weird. Like I'm like not a nice person. But like I have given someone my pants on the trail because that's just what backpacking does to you. I don't know. It's like everyone's in it against the trials of nature. So we're all just, something gets triggered in our brains. I don't know, but people tend to be very, very nice to each other when they're backpacking. So let's talk about a couple specifics. I have a few things here, some broader topics that I thought it would be fun to actually dive into. And the first one is clothes. You don't need to buy khakis, which is great. That's something I enjoy. I don't really like khakis. One thing you will probably notice is that backpackers are obsessed with hypothermia. They talk about hypothermia all the time, and it's because we have all heard a story about someone who died from hypothermia. So you know, the logic is sound, but it just, I remember when I was learning how to backpack, it's like no one would ever shut up about hypothermia, which considering how often you're out of the backcountry boiling hot, you're like, how is this a concern? Which is funny because you can give yourself hypothermia even if it's really hot during the day. This is where your clothing matters. So cotton kills is probably the only bit of advice that backpackers can actually agree on. Most, I'm not even going to say all, because it takes forever to dry. So if you get a little bit rained on or you just sweat too much on your clothes and then the sun sets and you don't take your clothes off, you can literally just give yourself hypothermia that easily. It's crazy. So that's kind of why we say cotton kills and backpackers are obsessed with hypothermia. The way you combat hypothermia is with an educated layering system. And that ideal system is wool long johns, a lightweight bottom like khakis and a wool or silk blend hiking shirt, and then waterproof pants and a waterproof jacket, which also work to combat wind chill. All three of these on together, you will be good in almost every single temperature. I can't afford a lot of wool or silk. This isn't what I wear. What I wear is polyester long johns a bubblegum pink wool blend t-shirt I got on clearance that makes me look like a lost Sailor Scout, flea market leggings in like a weird print, but you know, those like $10-15 ones that you can get down at like the Coliseum. Those are the ones I wear. And then also used ski pants and a military surplus waterproof jacket. And it all works pretty well for me. And yeah, so you don't have to buy everything at REI. You may be able to actually use what you already have at home. Don't feel like you need to buy a whole new wardrobe. There's no reason to break the bank here. Just remember, aside from your undies, no cotton. That's the biggie. One super quick note about leggings. I'm telling you this because no one told me until I was in the Oregon backcountry in June and it was too late. Spandex doesn't repel mosquitoes like at all. In fact, I think it might be like a lemon pepper style seasoning. I swear they just love it. Again, no one told me, and this I do think of this book as an anthology of my screw-ups. So a great fabric for repelling mosquitoes is nylon, but it is also inflexible and unbreathable. And I'd rather be lost in the dark on an active volcano than hiking it during the heat of summer. It's like wearing plastic bags on your legs. So where does this leave us? DEET, of course, can be used for pest control, but some people find it toxic because it's literally toxic. You can read the back of the label and it says it melts plastic, and polyester and nylon are plastic. So like to this day, I know DEET is considered the gold standard against mosquitoes, but I literally don't know how people are using it without melting all their clothing. A new system on the market is permethrin. A new chemical on the market is permethrin, where you can spray your clothes beforehand to repel ticks and mosquitoes. It's slightly less toxic. I've had really good results with permethrin. DEET is cheaper. Ultimately, I would say use whatever you think you need. Mosquitoes can really ruin a trip. I came back from that trip in Oregon not knowing about the mosquito thing. I had 100 bites below my waist, and then I stopped counting because I was too depressed. And since then, I have really rethought my entire approach to leggings. I still love them. I don't think you need to hike in khakis because they're unbreathable and they're expensive. But if you're gonna hike in khakis, or if you're gonna hike in leggings, and you know somewhere where there are mosquitoes, you're really gonna want to bring a chemical with you or an extra pair of nylon pants to put on just in case. So that's my 2 cents on that. Again, just hoping to spare people from what I have gone through. So in terms of suffering, let's talk about shoes, because your feet are the ones doing the bulk of the pounding out there, for lack of a better word. I have heard this a lot. Everyone is wearing the wrong shoe size all the time. I don't know if anyone else here has actually heard that. It's an old adage I have heard quoted a lot. We all kind of hear it and then we kind of ignore it because the shoes are cute or whatever. It actually matters now. It matters a lot. And I gave myself a year-long bout of Achilles tendonitis because I wore the wrong shoes backpacking. And it was a really hard lesson to learn, and I did not enjoy learning it. And I had we were in Torres del Paine National Park in Chile, and I had to make the decision about how injured am I? Am I injured enough that I can't walk out, or am I so injured that I need a helicopter? And I didn't need a helicopter, but every step was agony, and I still had to hike like 20 miles out of there. And I gave myself a really long-term chronic pain, all because I wore the wrong shoe size. That's it. That's all that happened. So the key, in my opinion, is to size up, but also wide. Everyone wants to forget that part because we all want to pretend we have teeny tiny, dainty maiden feet, I guess. I don't know. But imagine you suddenly become 9 months pregnant with twins and start hiking uphill, because that's what your feet will think has happened. So you want to give space for that kind of rapid weight gain, right? What I do, and I recommend you can play around a little bit, but I size up in my hiking boots a half size, and I also order a men's size wide, because my feet are already kind of wide. So to do a women's wide usually isn't good enough. This is the happy combo for my feet. But when you're looking at shoes, there's a whole section in the book about boots versus trail runners, but mostly the biggest thing is you want to account for the swelling of weight and the swelling of exercise. So you're going to want to size up your shoes a little bit, and don't do what I did. Don't be like, I fine. It's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine. You're hurting yourself. Next up, shelter. Let's talk about tents, how to bury yourself alive in hot green nylon. Love a backpacking tent. We love a backpacking tent. In my opinion, tents are 90% comfort blanket, 10% practical tool. I know a lot of people who are like, I saw John Muir's ghost in Yosemite and he told me to drop kick my tent in the Tuolumne and sleep outside all the time. Wonderful. I'm so happy for you. I've had bug bites on my face, so sleeping outside is just kind of not for me. And also there's I think tents mostly are psychological. You unfold this whisper thin nylon sack and then it makes you feel like you're in a bomb shelter. I do not really know how that occurs, but it makes me happy, so I've just stopped questioning it. I think it's because after you've been hiking all day and you're a little exhausted and night's falling and you might be kind of anxious and you're pretty sure you know where you are, but everything is a little unfamiliar and you can just open up a little house and then go inside it. It's very comforting. So if you go without a tent, good for you. I think that's awesome. I love my tent because I enjoy comfort. The best way to select a tent, in my opinion, is to find a friend who owns a tent and just go backpacking with them. That worked for me for like 8 years and I really recommend it. And the second thing is try looking for used or clearance tents, especially in the fall or after Burning Man. We live in the Bay Area. Everybody goes to Burning Man and then they use a tent once and then they come home and then they sell it. So like, I'm serious, after Burning Man, check Craigslist. There's like so many tents. And also in the fall, usually gear companies are clearing out for snow season. So you can get a great tent at a pretty low price. I would also recommend you know how to set up your tent before you're 10 miles away from the nearest cell phone signal. That is something that was taught to me. I think it is really, really good advice. And then also, there are a lot of tents out there who advertise themselves as backpacking tents, but they actually cost like, or excuse me, they weigh like 10 pounds. That is insane. Your tent should probably weigh under 5 pounds or it's not really a true backpacking tent. Again, there's a lot of nuance here. It's talked about a little more in the book, but that would be my main bits of advice when you are out in the world looking for your first tent. Next up, let's talk about food. This is the land where boxed mac and cheese is good for you. What a wonderful and holy place. I believe there are 3 schools of backcountry cooking. Number 1 is, or 3 archetypes really, the purist. My body is a temple, and on the holy ground I shall imbibe and masticate only the purest dried vegetables, unsulfured fruit leathers, and organic grains. Then there is a type I call affectionately the lazy bear, which is, you know, the motto is something akin to, I don't really feel like portioning out olive oil or measuring dehydrated chili, so I'm going to buy 12 prepackaged mountain meals and call it a day. Nothing wrong with that. And then there is the opportunist. Hail Mary, full of grace, I get to eat all the macaroni I want. I am in camp number 3. And the reason I'm in camp number 3 is because for the most part, when you are backpacking, you're burning a lot of calories. And this is true even if you're not going super far. Like even if you're only going 4 or 5 miles in, and as opposed to, I mean, some people go like 10, 20 miles in, but I know I had a friend who, he went backpacking. He did a lot of math on his metabolic rate, etc. And he was trying to determine how many calories in a day he would burn while hiking based on his metabolic rate and his distance and elevation, etc. He spent a lot of time on this. And he packed all the calories he would need to not lose any weight. He went out for a week and he came home and he still lost 10 pounds. So that I think can show how tough backpacking can be on your body. It can also be translated to we're in that magical place where you can eat whatever you want and still lose weight. But the main things I eat are powdered mashed potatoes, protein bars, instant oatmeal mac and cheese, and couscous. You want salt to stave off dehydration. You want protein to keep you full, to keep your muscles happy, and you want carbs because you want fast energy because you're basically moving nonstop. There are wonderful books and blogs out there detailing how to make effective, nutritious, delicious meals in the backcountry. I mean, people do so many wonderful things. I am so impressed. I don't use any of them because I am very lazy, and after hiking all day, I do not want to cook. I want to eat. So I usually end up eating the same 5 things listed above. And the best part about backpacking is that it just makes food taste better because you're starving. So I don't know. If you want to be chill about your food, be chill about your food. If you need someone to tell you it's okay to be chill about your food, please let me give that to you today. You will be completely fine if you do not make 7 meals at home and then dehydrate them. Just go into the aisle at Lucky's where they have the hamburger helper and like buy everything and you'll be fine. Yeah. Gummy candy is a wonderful dessert. The main thing I did want to talk about a little bit when it comes to food is how exactly are we turning all these powders into dinner? There are a variety of stoves that are out on the market, and because we are an insane wildfire prone state, I actually really wanted to talk about this in a little more detail. I wish I lived in a time, you know, when cowboys could ride into the middle of nowhere, stop anywhere they liked, gather whatever wood they found, cook a can of pork and beans over an open fire, toss the empty can into a bush, and drift off to sleep to the sound of crackling logs. Every single one of those actions is illegal in California, culturally or literally. So we can't, this is like not, we just live in a very different time, right? In my opinion, and this is a contentious topic, the best backpacking stove is not the MSR Whisperlight. A lot of people give this to people as their first backpacking stove. It is a nightmare. They break for like no reason and they're impossible to clean. I will talk to anyone about this. I hate these things. Butterfly stoves, there are a variety of brands. They're also called canister stoves or pocket rocket stoves. It's like this guy up here. You basically unfold this little 3-pronged thing and stick it into a can of isobutane. Boom, you have a stove. They're easy to use, they're lightweight, they're very cheap. They do require you to carry fuel, but compared to the alternatives, I think they are extremely economical, extremely simple, and extremely effective. If you live in California, like a lot of us here do, I assume, don't buy an alcohol stove. Don't make one. They are Cersei Lannister approved waterproof balls of fire whose fuel evaporates faster than water. That is literally what they are. If you knock one over in the woods, the consequences could be quite literally fatal and disastrous. For this reason, alcohol stoves and their fuel are getting banned more and more because of this. When I was in high school, my mom went out with a homemade tuna can alcohol stove. It's what a lot of ultralight people did because they're very lightweight and all you have to do is buy ethanol. But because, again, they are waterproof balls of fire that are wobbling on a rock, frequently they're just being banned. If you go out, you might see a sign that says alcohol stoves are not allowed. I think a year or two ago, 5 years ago, I bought an alcohol stove. I have used it once because every other time I tried to use it, it was banned where I was trying to go. So in California. So I caved and I bought a butterfly stove, and honestly, I've never been happier. So that's, I think as backpackers, we do have a huge responsibility to not start wildfires. So that is something that, you know, I really want to point out. No matter what an ultralighter tells you, don't use an alcohol stove. I think we had 2 hands raised. If there are questions, I'm super down to talk about it, but I think we were going to do Q&A at the end. I can't quite, since I'm sharing my screen, I can't see a ton, but if you guys want to write what's up in the Q&A, we can definitely chat. Yeah.
Yes, please put your questions in the Q&A box, and we will get to them at the end. I see we have one question waiting there for us already. So
great, yay. I love questions. Okay, cool. Moving on from that depressing topic, let's talk about how to pick a route or how to start distrusting the internet more than you already do. When you're deciding where to go, there's a lot of different ways you can decide where to go. I think most people, usually they hear something from someone like, oh my God, you have to go to the Grand Tetons in the spring. Dude, it's amazing. Or you just Google various routes. Books are a wonderful resource, more than blogs, because authors know that people know how to find them and where they sleep, so they're just less likely to lie to you. but I think in general, there are kind of there are three types of wild lands in the United States. And there's a lot of wildlands within those wildlands, but I think of them as three main categories that you're likely to encounter. First is national parks. These are gorgeous. They usually have entry fees. They may require reservations. They're well maintained. They can be crowded. Yosemite is a national park. Zion is a national park. Then there's national forests, which usually surround national parks. They are less crowded. They don't have entry fees. They have fewer requirements. You're more likely to see a bear. The trails are less developed. So one of these, I'm not actually advocating for one over the other. National parks have a lot of perks. Sometimes it's nice to just show up somewhere and the trail's right there and there's a sign and it's really clear and you don't have to stress about it too much. Whereas in a national forest, sometimes it's like, where am I? Nothing is marked. Which trail is this? You can get lost easier. Like on the one hand, you have more solitude, but on the other hand, you might discover that sometimes it's really nice that a group of people, usually AmeriCorps or the Park Service or whatever, has gone out and built a trail for you and you can just take advantage of it. It's very wonderful. With that said, if you want to go to a national park and you find out you can't get a permit for the trail you want, consider just looking at the national forest right next to it, which will probably look very similar and have way fewer restrictions. This is a trick that has allowed me to get around a lot of red tape and go to really beautiful wilderness. I have had, I think, equally profound experiences in national forests, if not more, than I have in national parks. So just gonna put that out there. And then there's BLM land, which I'm pretty sure is mostly weed farms. And I would heed the no trespassing signs that you see therein, definitely. Mostly, I think it's okay to just Google around or pick up a book of beginner backpacking trips. Just know that the conditions you read about are likely not always going to be the reality on the ground, especially if you're going in a different season. But like, people don't mean to lie, they just lie. It's wilderness, you can never really know, right? Which is why we spend all this time planning. So once you have a route in mind, you'll probably going to want to get a map of that route and mark out where you're going to go each day and where you're planning to sleep each day. Things might change on the ground, but I find this process incredibly comforting. A lot of people use GPS on their phones as a map. I prefer not to do this because sometimes I can't get a signal or I worry about draining my battery, and also All Trails has gotten me lost 3 times. Just a reminder, I am not sponsored. Definitely not by All Trails. So with that said, I don't want to poo-poo all technology. Cell phones do get more advanced, and a GPS dot has comforted me before if I can get the signal to reassure me I am where I think I am. People hike the PCT using nothing but their phones, and they just keep battery packs in their packs to keep it from getting drained. So this is definitely possible. I prefer to use paper maps so I can save my battery from making TikToks, and also because I enjoy feeling like a Boy Scout, and also again because All Trails got me lost 3 times. But I think the main point is bloggers lie, phones lie, maps don't lie unless they are old, and then they also lie, and basically trust no one, which is why it's important to learn how to read a topographic map, which I thought this could actually be a little bit fun to do for a minute. I don't know if anyone here knows how to read a topographic map, but again, I think it's a really useful skill, so I wanted to take just 60 seconds and talk about it. This is in Tahoe National Forest. This is actually a route I did 2 weeks ago, or the beginning of a route I did 2 weeks ago with a friend, where I forgot to pack my hat and I got really sunburned. Most backpacking maps, if you're already seasoned, this part's going to bore you, but if you've never seen this before, I hope you find it informative. Mostly what I want to look at is elevation and mileage. So you can see most backpacking maps have these wonderful squiggly lines. These denote elevation. And then along our trail here, we have mileage. So this is distance. Distance matters way less in backpacking than elevation, because walking a mile uphill is completely different than walking a mile flat, right? So when you're thinking about how hard a day is going to be, you want to factor in elevation almost more than anything else, which is why topographic maps are so great. So basically, in this particular map, folks can zoom in if they want to. I might try to zoom in a little bit if I can. Nope, I won't. Okay. I guess I can't zoom in while I'm sharing my screen. But this right here, this bold line that stretches all the way around, this represents 6,800 feet. And the next bold line represents 7,000 feet. So basically that means there's 200 feet difference between the bold lines. So we can also assume this line is 6,600 without even looking at it. This one's 6,800, this one's 7,000. So this section right here, because we're walking parallel to the lines, this is pretty flat. And because you can see here, the lines are really tight bunched together, this is a valley. 2 lakes are at the bottom, right? So we're walking along the ridge of the valley. And then this part, we start crossing the lines perpendicularly, no longer parallel, which means we're going up in elevation. So this is the part that sucks. How much does it suck? Well, this is 6,800, that's 7,000. So you're looking at 300 feet, give or take, over less than 0.6 miles. How much that will suck depends entirely on your body. And this is the part where also, if you're kidding yourself, you will be educated. This wasn't too bad for us. It wasn't exactly pleasant, but it's good to know ahead of time if you're encountering something like that, so you can make sure maybe you don't hit it at the peak of the heat of the day. Maybe you ensure that you have water with you. But basically that is the biggest indicator of how much something's gonna suck, are these squiggly lines in the topographic map. It's so weird to not be able to like see you guys. I know we're doing this in person and I said wait for Q&A, but if you have any questions about this, let me know. This is obviously a like brief primer in reading a topographic map, but I do think it's important to have one over your phone in case your phone breaks and to vaguely know how to read it. So moving on, let's talk about poop real quick. And mostly by poop, I want to talk about leave no trace. Leave no trace is the mandate, the honor code and sworn agreement of all who enter the backcountry. Every time you enter the backcountry, you are now part of the vanguard, maintaining the miracle impression that this place is untouched by man, because of course it's touched by man, because there are trails, but this is a gift we give each other, right? And the way that we do that is carrying out everything we carry in, except your poop. But actually even that sometimes, because if you've ever climbed Mount Whitney, they literally make you poop in a bag and carry it out. Maybe part of the reason why I haven't climbed Mount Whitney. But the elephant in the room, of course, when you talk about leave no trace, is that it's gross. Nobody likes packing out trash, least of all used toilet paper. What you do is you just put a Ziploc bag covered in duct tape and then put that in another Ziploc bag potentially, so there's no leaks or anything, and that's what you store it in. Plenty of cultures around the world don't flush their toilet paper, they just put it in a trash can. This is mildly similar. You bring hand sanitizer, it's actually not the end of the world, but it's totally gross. It just is. But what's more disgusting is running into someone else's used toilet paper on the trail, which I think if anyone here has ever been on a hike or two, we've seen, and it's rancid, right? It's annoying. It's almost as annoying as running into bar wrappers and plastic lids or orange peels, but I think it is more disgusting than any of them put together. So the bottom line is, if you pack out your trash, you're better than other people. You just are. You get to be sure of that. I can give you that today. You can leave today knowing that you are better than other people because you pack out your trash. It is just true. I will not be taking questions on that point. Finally, let's talk about crisis. What to do in an emergency. Mostly how to determine if you're having an emergency. This was my first bit of wilderness medicine advice when I took wilderness medicine, is that CPR is little more than a death ritual. I define, and I think a lot of people define, this is not my definition, this is the definition I stole from somewhere else. The definition of the backcountry emergency is the inability to self-extract, meaning you can no longer get out on your own. If you cannot get out on your own, you are experiencing a crisis or an emergency or whatever terrifying word you'd like to describe it. Everything before that is something you can handle. So if you are panicking, if you are having a moment where something feels really wrong, but you don't actually know how much danger you're in, this has really helped me, like bring my sense back down to my body. I ask myself, can I still get out by myself? or not? And if I can, then I'm not having an emergency and I just need to be calm and think, right? Wilderness medicine is its own professional skill set, but I would recommend if you go out into the backcountry, you at least brush up on how to handle the main issues you're likely to encounter, which are, or come close to encountering. I don't say these things are going to happen to you, but you might get close to them. You might flirt with them. They are dehydration, heat exhaustion, stings, hypothermia, and how to act if you see a bear. Basically, kind of goes with stings. Encounters with wildlife. Like if you're going somewhere with black bears and rattlesnakes, you should look up what to do if you get bit by a rattlesnake or what to do if you see a bear. Sometimes there's still conflicting advice. In my opinion, the best thing to do for a black bear is just to make noise and yell at it. They're giant raccoons, they run away. But, you know, look up a professional on this. I am not certified in anything, so I can't give official advice. And also, again, I'm not responsible for your death. But don't feel like you have to be certified in wilderness med to go outside. But I do think it's really important to look up dehydration, heat exhaustion, stings, hypothermia, and what to do around the wildlife you'll be encountering, because those are the things that you may actually have to deal with. And you can get ahead of them before they become real problems really, really easily. But if they become real problems, they can become real problems. And you don't want that. So in the book, I talk about a time I have been lost. I was lost for 3 days on an active volcano. It was very scary. We did manage to self-extract by eventually finding a kind of forbidden trail through some brush. It's a really long story. I won't get into it now because we're running out of time, but I also interviewed someone about a man who broke his knee in the backcountry and still debated for 3 hours if he needed to call for help. Don't be that guy. He was I think, feeling too proud. No one wants to be the guy that had to wave the little white flag. The flip side, lots of people call for emergency help when they are simply tired. Your rescue rangers will be really pissed at you if you make them helicopter out to you because you just like stub your toe. Like they're gonna fucking hate you. So I would really recommend not doing that. I always recommend going with the person because I find it comforting and you guys can help each other if something goes wrong. But also you can carry a personal locator beacon, PLB, these little guys down here. They're basically giant walkie-talkies that allow you to call for an emergency rescue if needed, and some even allow you to text in the backcountry, which to me defeats the entire purpose of going into the backcountry, but you know what, to each their own, hooray. And that is the bulk of it. I want to leave a little time for questions. Sorry if I felt like I was rushing through the end there, but also this is me, where you can find me online, and Latasha, who is the wonderful illustrator, she's at Jitterbug Arts. I'm usually at Definitely Not Lost or Def Not Lost on various platforms. And yeah, I hope to connect with you guys. I'd really love to hear what people have to say. With that said, if we want to do some Q&A, I'm super into that. Yeah.
Amazing, Diana. Thank you so much for that. That was really great. And I just want everyone to know that that was just like scraping the surface of all of the wonderful information that is in the book. Everything that she touched on, she goes into way more detail in the book. So again, check it out. We do have a few questions. I don't know if you're reading them or if you would like me to read them to you. You looked like you were looking at your screen. I couldn't tell.
I think I'm still sharing, so I can stop sharing here. Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and I will read them to you.
Okay.
Okay, so our first question is, what about for those of us who live in the snow, what is ideal to wear then?
If you are, this is funny, I make a lot of jokes about this in the book. I think snow backpacking is really, really, really intense. It's its own separate thing because, as you probably know, moving in the snow is very different than moving on solid ground. I have very limited experience in backpacking in the snow. I do believe that layering system still works. I mean, to be perfectly blunt with you, when I went out into the Sierras 2 weeks ago in the summer, I did not bring my rain pants and my rain jacket because I knew I didn't need them. But I think if you're in the snow, especially when it gets super cold at night, you would really want all three of those layers. if you're just talking specifically about the clothing. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Where are you storing your food while camping?
Wonderful question. Because I am in the backcountry, in California backcountry, a lot of the time you are required to have a bear canister, which are these annoying huge plastic tubs that cost $90 freaking dollars, and they're impossible for bears to get in. Generally, what you want to do in bear country is wherever you're camping, you want where you cook and store your food to be a little bit of a distance away, so that if a bear does come through your camp at night, he's not like sniffing up your tent. And also, you don't want to eat in your tent because they will just slash it open and go for your little protein bar or your hand sanitizer or anything that smells like anything. So everything's scented, including like toothpaste and hand sanitizer, and of course food goes into the bear canister. A lot of the times, if a forest or a park is requiring a bear canister, they often have like a really free or low cost rental program, because they want you to use them so bad, and they know that not everyone has $90 to buy their own. It will be like abundantly clear when you're looking up your trail or getting your permit. They will be like, this is bear country, you need a canister. If you don't have a canister, we will give you a canister, and you want to use that canister, because if you don't, a bear's probably gonna come mess with you. So yeah, bear canisters.
Okay. What do you think about, this is my question. What do you think about, I know I've gone backpacking or bikepacking before where it didn't have a bear canister and tied our food up in a tree. Do you think in a pinch, if you don't have a bear canister, that is sufficient?
That's such a personal question. This is so funny because like, this is the thing that happens with backpackers. We all like talk this talk, and then you go out there and you're like, oh, I forgot the X, or it doesn't fit. So I have done a bear hang before. I know in the Pacific Northwest they still do that a lot. I have heard bear hanging is being banned I've seen it banned in some places because bears are really smart and they climb trees,
Yeah.
and it's not as considered as wildly effective. But I would say yes, in a pinch you can, it's like a little game. You basically like take you put all your food in a bag and like throw a rock over a tree branch and like levy it up and then tie it to the base. But definitely as a last resort. Have I done it? Yes. Do I feel bad? Yes. We just didn't plan well enough, and we got lucky. A bear didn't come, but a ranger didn't come either.
Good to know. Like, not ideal. And you can rent bear canisters too if you don't feel like buying one. Okay, next question. How much do the fuel and butterfly stoves weigh?
It depends on the stove and the fuel, but I think the one I got was, I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say like 5 or 6 ounces was the stove, maybe even less. And then the fuel, how much do isobutane canisters weigh? I can't quite remember. The entire setup, like a canister, which should last you, depending, it really depends on your usage, but I would say 4 to 5 days. And the butterfly stove, it's all less than a pound for sure. Yeah.
Okay, and then just a reminder that if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the Q&A box as opposed to the regular chat, if you can. Okay, and then someone wants to know if it was hot backpacking in South America.
No, it was cold. It was hella cold. I think I thought that too, but actually we did the latitude reversal. We were basically in like southern Washington, but the South Coast equivalent. There was hella salmon and everything was green. It was dope, actually, and cold. Yeah.
Okay, someone wants to know, what about state parks?
Oh man. They usually aren't big enough for backpacking in my experience, but that doesn't mean don't go. Like, I think if you can go, I have less experience in state parks because I have found them to just not be as large. Like I backpacked in Big Sur, but I think that's technically like Los Padres National Forest and not a state park, but I know that there are state parks there. There's a bunch of overlapping management systems in Big Sur, but yeah, check them out. In my opinion, they tend to be small, so they don't have as many routes. Yeah.
Okay. How do you pick footwear if you are going to be at a place where there's constant rain? Rain boots don't look comfortable for long distance hiking.
I would say you probably want waterproof boots, and they should be comfortable. Size up and wide a little bit. A lot of boots are waterproof. They tend to be a little bit more expensive, or at least water resistant. I hike, again, I'm not paid to say this, I actually hike in SWAT boots. I have tried every boot under the sun, and they are the most comfortable damn things in the entire universe. They're like for police uniforms. I don't know. I'm obsessed with them. I love them, and they're water resistant. And I've never been so happy in them. I think the main thing though is also when you're hiking, pretty much no matter what, but especially if you're hiking in the rain, no matter what shoe you use, when you get to camp, you want to take your shoes off and you want to put on dry socks to prevent trench foot. That's actually really, really important. Yeah.
Did you say SWAT boots?
SWAT, like a SWAT team. Yeah.
Like that you could get those at like a military surplus?
I got them on eBay. They're
Okay.
amazing. Like literally my favorite thing I've ever owned.
I love that. I'm gonna check them out. Yep. We do have some more questions. We have a few more questions. Savannah, I will let you know and everyone know that I am recording this, and the recording will be posted on the Oakland Public Library YouTube page, probably in a day or two. So, but you can check it out there. And I'm sorry that you were having connectivity issues, but hopefully you get to watch it there. Allison asks, do you dig a cat hole?
Yeah. Sorry. Again, in the book, there's literally an entire chapter just about how to poop in the backcountry, but no, you don't just like squat and like drop it right there on the side of the trail. You got to like go out a little bit, find yourself a nice, beautiful vista behind a rock, behind a tree, far away from a trail, 200 feet from water, dig a hole, and then bury it, and then put the toilet paper in a plastic bag. Someone mentioned earth-friendly bags. I am open to that. I think it is something you want to throw away, not really reuse, I think for hygienic reasons, but if you can get any kind of like, if it's not Ziploc plastic, if there's some other kind of more earth-friendly plastic bag you can use, definitely use that, but also it's not a bag you want to reuse, I think. No.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Are you carrying the bear canister in your backpack?
Yeah. And as it empties, as you eat, you can just fill it with other stuff. Yeah, you can just fill it with other stuff. I just carry mine. I do. I take it everywhere every time I'm in the Sierras now because it's just what is required 90% of the time. Yeah.
And why risk it?
Huh?
And why risk it?
Yeah. That is not how I want to meet a bear. When you see a bear, you want to be like, hello, goodbye. You look so good. Goodbye. I don't want to be friends with you. Bye. But you don't want to give them a reason to come say hi.
Okay, so next question. Where are you buying your paper maps and which ones are best?
Great question. Oh man. Sometimes REI, but they don't always have the map I want. Sometimes like Barnes and Noble will have maps sometimes, but honestly, usually it's Amazon. Or the Park Service itself will sometimes sell a map. If you can figure out, those websites can be so hard to navigate, and you might be showing up after the ranger station is closed. So I like to have one before I show up to the ranger station, because usually I'm working the day that I leave. So I show up at like the trailhead at like 11 at night, right? Amazon has almost every map, but you really, 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 really want to make sure you are buying the most recent map of the area. The reason I got lost on a volcano is because someone sold us an old map and the volcano had literally erupted and erased the trail we were looking for, which I don't think happens a ton in California, but like trails change, like they really do change. They can change within a 5-year period. So it's really important to make sure you have the most updated map. I am a particularly huge fan of CalTopo, CalTopo. They have a topographic map tool that actually works across the country. I think it works internationally. You can theoretically print out sections of maps and build your own map if you needed to for free. So CalTopo is a really, really amazing resource. Yeah.
Okay. Are those suction kits with the razor the right thing to use if you do get bit by a rattlesnake? Part of me thinks you're just going to die if you get bit by one.
I'm not a wilderness medicine expert, but I do, every time I go out, I try and look up what the most recent recommendations are. And last I heard is suction kits are useless. And you are actually pretty unlikely to die of a rattlesnake bite. Time equals tissue is true. So if you get bit by a rattlesnake bite, it's like, okay, you are now dealing with that now. That is what you are doing. And that is the only thing you are doing, right? But I think usually death only occurs if people like ignore it for like 3 or 4 days. So you actually kind of have time, depending on how far out you are. But that would also be a time to maybe call for a helicopter with your personal locator beacon, because there's a lot of variables with a snake bite, right? I'm lucky enough to have never been bitten, but I have heard the suction doesn't work. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, we have, I think, about 4 more questions. Do we have time for that? Or do we, it's 7:04. Do we need to wrap up?
I mean, I have time, but
Okay.
if you need to go, that's fine
no,
too.
Let's get these questions answered. Okay, so how do you manage, Amanda says 2 for 1. How do you manage your water supply? Do you carry fresh water in, utilize filtration straws, bottles, or something else? Also, do you ever utilize, and then people do want to know about, separate question, do you utilize bear sprays or bear whistles, and how?
Good question. First I'll do the water, and I had too much to say about water, so I left it out of the presentation because I have used like every water filter known to man, and I have a lot of strong opinions about them now. But yes, I always bring a water filter or some way to purify water, because carrying it all in would be nuts. I feel like, I mean, sometimes if you're hiking through the desert, that's what you have to do. But most of the time in the mountains, there's creeks and lakes you can look at. While you're planning your route, something I look at always is during the day, and also where you're camping at night, is where is my water? So if I'm hiking 8 miles in the first day, I want to find where in the middle of that there is a stream or a lake or a creek or something where I can stop and get water. And if one doesn't exist, that would either make me think, I don't want that trailhead, or I'm going to have to pack like 5 damn liters of water, which is really heavy. It sounds like a pain in the ass. And then camping next to water is always ideal, because then you just don't have to worry about it. Most of the time when you're backpacking, it might not always be on the map, but if there's a lake or a particularly big river, once you approach it, you will see backcountry campsites. You will see these unusually flat areas, these mysteriously smooth sections, where people have pitched tents, and it's great. You don't have to do the work. Just like use them, minimize your impact, use what's already there. Try to keep it 100 feet from the body of water itself to minimize contamination of the water. But you do want to filter your water, of course. Giardia and Cryptosporidium are parasites that have hurt backpackers, but you can use aqua tabs. I prefer, my new favorite thing is a Life Straw squeezy bottle. Life Straw, be free. They are not paying me to say that.